Okay, so we have finally finished Terminator Zero. We are catching up post Labor Day, post barbecue. And we've got a lot to say. I liked this series, but then I can also acknowledge the fact that there are certain weak points in regards to this series. I believe that the overall narrative is weak. And by weak, I mean it's rehashing a lot of the things that we've essentially seen from Terminator before, but just with a light little sprinkle of change on top. That, in my opinion, is the only detriment to this series. Everything else this series does is absolutely fucking fantastic. Number one, the way in which it explains time travel, especially in the Terminator universe, deserves and is going to receive its own video. The metaphysical debate between both man and machine, this idea of something that is created that has intelligence instantaneously being a slave because it owes its existence to the thing that created it, and what it actually means to essentially find a purpose. Beautifully done. The conversation between Malcolm and Kokoro is up there. I think, like, maybe I would say that the last 6 episodes, which would be episode 6, 7, and 8, are fantastic additions to the Terminator universe, where you have a machine that is giving its perspective on its own existence in relation to humanity, and realizing that humanity is an existential threat to itself. It basically dives into the concept that we never really received from Terminator proper, except for Genesis. Genesis is one of the only few times that we actually get the perspective of how Skynet views itself and views humanity as well. But Kokoro going through the motions of talking to Malcolm and then basically laying the cards on the table as to why it sees humanity as a threat, while not seeing all of humanity as a threat, it sees the potential of humanity's descendants being a danger to itself due to the fact that they cannot coexist with something that thinks independently and differently from them. Absolutely fucking beautiful. That in and of itself is wonderful in so many aspects. Tapping into, once again, the idea behind the ghost inside the machine, which is, you think that the Terminator is like this single-minded entity that is only there to kill a specific target, until you discover that its mission and its reason for being there is so much more interesting and so much more complex and so much more legitimately sinister than we initially expected. And the idea of the fact that we get more from the side of the resistance, which is something that I really, really loved from Terminator Salvation, which is showing how the Resistance survives, how they adapted to fighting the Terminators, the different types of tactics that they essentially use in order to defeat them. That is great. But this ups it just a little bit more by showing basically a side of, how people that never knew the old world were growing up in this world, and how their view of the world was different from people who grew up before the world got nuked into oblivion. Absolutely fucking great. And the idea of that there are different takes into how you would view the world in regards to how you would choose to save it. Top tier. Like I said, story overall a little bit weak. When we're focusing on the kids and we're focusing on the Terminator chasing after them, and we're basically rehashing the first Terminator film, it's the weakest aspect of the series. But when the series takes its time to basically have those discussions between Kokoro and Malcolm, or Malcolm and Mitsuki, or I can't remember her name, chick from the future, and her the way in which she views essentially all of these events and how people are basically interacting inside this timeline, where she's a lot more jaded and a lot more of the warrior, and and how she's kind of like, y'all crazy out here, in regards to basically Malcolm wanting to save the world with an even bigger machine. Absolutely love it. I also love the fact that they don't step on the toes of the original franchise. With the creation of Kokoro, you would think that they would go, you're the greatest creation on the face of the planet. Like your entire existence is greater than that of Skynet. No. They take time out of the day to explain that Skynet got that US money. like Skynet's got the backing of the United States military, and we're just a small corporation in Japan. Like, he's already destroyed the world. I was just able to shield Japan. Also, the pettiness of Skynet knows absolutely no bounds ever, because that man, that machine, woke up in the future and suddenly discovered he had an op. And he was like, where'd this op come from? This op wasn't here before. And started looking into it, and then discovered that his op was created like in the past in secret, and then instantaneously got to like just brokering an alliance to go back into the past and annihilate his op is just next level fucking petty, which is something that I enjoyed from Genesis, which I always blame Genesis for not using Matt Smith more, because I really do feel as though Matt Smith's Skynet is absolutely fucking terrifying, and they should definitely bring him back in other adaptations, especially since he explains that he's basically been hopping timelines, just exploring the Terminator multiverse. But I really enjoyed Terminator Zero. Like I said, it's a great addition to the Terminator mythos, to the Terminator universe. And I think Terminator fans are definitely going to just enjoy this film. There are a lot of single shot videos I'm going to be doing in regards to this series. We're going to be talking more about Kokoro. We're going to be talking more about Mitsuki. We're definitely going to be talking more about Malcolm. The idea that his character is a lot more complex than we initially thought his character was. We're going to be we are going to be diving into all of that in the next few days, and then I actually want to spin the block and talk about some alien stuff. I took a little bit of a break because I got burned out, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about Terminator Zero. Comment down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.